Hey everyone. I want to come on here and share something vulnerable to me. This week's been kind of tough. I've had a lot of interesting dreams and nightmares coming up that have been revealing fears to me. And my friend Brittany asked me to journal about it and really invited me with, the way she's into astrology and stuff. So she's like, the way that the planets are and stuff, like you're being invited to, step into these dreams and really journal about them and see them for what they are. And so I've had dreams around like sharks and different things like that, like things, that have scared me. Being in school and like failing in school is a dream that comes up a lot for me. And so I wanted to share with you some of the things that came through in my journal today. And the really cool thing was that, like, I've been journaling all week about these fears, and what's ended up happening is that I finally realized today how they all loop back to me. And so I want to share with you some of the words that came through in my journaling process today. And this is really vulnerable, but I'm sharing because I hope that it can help you, see things in yourself. So what I wrote down this morning that came out of my dreams last night were fear of failing, fear of not knowing enough, fear of being judged, and fear of disappointing. And as I started journaling, I'm writing things like there's a fear of letting others down, and there's a fear of others not seeing you as perfect. What will they think of you? I'm going to read you what I wrote about judgment because it's really beautiful. Their judgment is based on expectations they have of themselves. It's easier for them to point a finger at you rather than look at their own inadequacy or disbelief. And here's where it gets good. And there's a part of you who worries about what they see being true, for you aren't ready to face it. There's a part of you not willing to take responsibility for that piece of you. You are judging it yourself. But the truth is, it's neutral. It's not good or bad. It's only the part of you who sees it as bad that creates shame around seeing it and facing it. Your avoidance of it is judgment in itself. Choose to see yourself. And at the end of the day, what I wrote at the end, in the part, like when I was looking at the disappointing one, is there's a fear of letting yourself down. When you go deep enough, you'll see the true fear, and it always comes down to you. You can let go of blaming your teachers. So often we go through life blaming others and being triggered by others and blaming them. One of my biggest teachers is my mother, and she always shows me things in me that bring up shame about who I am. And it's not about her. It's really about me, right? Because it wouldn't trigger in me those feelings if I didn't believe them a little bit myself. So it's easy to point fingers at other people. It's easy to blame them and look for reasons why they make you feel bad. But if you didn't feel that yourself, it wouldn't be a trigger in the first place. So how can you stop blaming your teachers and start really seeing them and thanking them? And I've done a lot of this work. I've done a lot of healing work and a lot of this, looking at my triggers and inner child stuff. And I've done a lot of this work and unraveling it. Sometimes as you're doing the work, it just hits you in a different light. And that's what happened for me today. And it was just a really big moment for me to realize that there's still parts of me that aren't willing to see myself. And so often the biggest thing that we want is the biggest thing that we fear. So we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be loved, and we're also afraid of all of those things, giving them to ourselves. Because we're afraid of what we might see, you know. We're afraid that we may not be the best version of ourselves right now. There may be dissonance between this version of ourselves that we hold to be true, that we take pride in, that we say, this is who I want to be, this is what I stand for, this is my truth. And then when we see ourselves acting in ways that aren't in alignment with that, it creates dissonance. Creates, you know, that feeling, those feelings of shame and guilt around not fulfilling who we see ourselves to be. And so I just wanted to share that with you so that, you know, you can be a part of my journey. You know, part of my journey is being so truthful and vulnerable with you guys. You know, my week was tough and I was looking at a lot of different fears, you know, and this is not about anything that's even happening right now. This is just about, you know, the things that are in me, that are coming up within me, you know, that are maybe just being, you know, heightened right now in this week for some reason. You know, maybe it is the planets. I don't know. Doesn't matter what it is, but whatever it is, I'm willing to see it. And yesterday I decided to clear my schedule and take the whole day for myself because my energy needed it. My energy needed a break. And this morning I got up and I started feeling anxious about all the things I needed to do. And so I started writing out my fears, you know, and just saying, okay, I'm going to journal. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write these out and see what comes up for me. Hey, Jenna. And this is what I've shared this with you guys before, this process that I have of just writing out and calling out my fears. And this moment, like doing this all week, because that's what I did all week, it brought it back to me. It brought it back to what I needed to see. It brought it back to the lesson for me, the reminder for me that this is all about me. It's not about anyone else. And so if you find yourself judging other people, judging other, you know, judging what's happening right now, like judging the news, like whatever you're looking at that you're blaming and pointing fingers at and saying like, it's because of this that I feel this way, I encourage you to journal about what you fear and journal and go deep enough so that you can see what it is in you that you are afraid of. Taking out all those external factors, bringing it back within, and taking responsibility. This is what it means to take divine responsibility of your life and your experience, because you are the only one who creates your life. It really doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. It doesn't. So if you need help with this, if you want support, please reach out to me. This is not about me taking you on as a client, although if that feels good to you, you feel called to do that, sure. But honestly, reach out, and if you need support with looking at your fears and maybe seeing something in you that you're afraid of seeing, reach out to me. I've been doing this for a long time. So I can help guide you to do the same for yourself. Have a beautiful Friday.